Hey y'all, welcome to Reddit Stories. This is Reddit Stories Relationship Advice, take one. And if you ain't like the channel, go ahead and make sure that y'all subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to receive all the videos that upload from this point here on out. If you ain't seen those in the past, go check them out too. So I got some bangers for y'all too. So again, this is Tonetta. Welcome to the channel. And we're doing Reddit Stories today, relationship advice. And I already got one pulled up. So let's go ahead and get into this. And I know just by reading the title, I read like a little bit of this before I press, of course, start. So just to let you know that hopefully, well, just, I don't say hopefully, but just to let you know that this particular situation may trigger some, especially if you've had any sexual abuse, sexual assault, anything like that in your past. Just know that going into this. My boyfriend didn't listen during sex and wouldn't let me go home. Why would he act so weird? We were in the act of being intimate and it started to get painful randomly. So I asked him to hold on for a second and he kept going. I asked again and he said he's almost done and wait. I got upset after because the situation made me feel so weird. I told him I was annoyed and he said it wasn't that big of a deal because it wasn't a long time. And if it really bothered me, I should have made it more clear to him instead of complaining about it afterwards. His reaction made me feel miserable, and to be honest, it felt like a slap on my face. I started crying because I just felt hurt. I think I shocked him because I don't cry often, and he tried to comfort me and said sorry. After a while, he said he was starting to feel scared, and I asked him why. And he said because I was crying. He asked me to spend the night, so I did. And the next day, he said he wanted me to stay again. He didn't want me to ever leave or go home. I told my best friend the whole situation, that he wanted me and that he didn't want me to leave. And she said he might have been scared I'd report him for assault. I wouldn't even do that. That sounds insane and kind of far-fetched. But why else would he not want me to leave? I asked him and he just said he missed me. For one, I know she meant intimate during the sex act. She was telling him to stop. It was painful. He wouldn't stop and he kept going. That's the whole gist of this. And then he wanted her to spend the night because she was crying and didn't want her to go home or leave his sight. I guess I put it that way. Young lady, and I know there's many other, not just young ladies, but any woman who's out here having sex with these guys and that kind of thing. Because I've had situations like this happen as well. And I will say that this is definitely sexual assault. If you don't want to report him, that's a choice you have to make. But you can definitely report him to the authorities or to whomever is in your county, sheriff, or whatever you have. But just know that this is sexual assault. Whenever anybody's not giving consent anymore, no matter what point you're in the sex or foreplay, that person should be stopping. Otherwise, it is going to feel like rape or sexual assault. I hate that you had to go through this, and I know a lot of women, young and old, have been through this as well. My best advice, if you want to stay with this young man, that's a choice you make, I would advise you to leave him alone. Because if he didn't respect your body this time, there's going to be other times where this is going to happen as well. And this is coming from a woman who's had a situation, like I said, like this occur before in the past. And of course, I left him alone immediately. Like I said, you, of course, are the crying and that kind of thing and feeling weird. That's because it wasn't something that should have taken place. He violated you. And like I said, you can choose to stay if you want, but I would advise you to leave. Because I know this is not going to be the last time this is going to happen if he does not have that kind of self-control to even stop himself in the middle of sex talking about some, wait a minute, he almost there. I would advise you to get some counseling if you haven't already got counseling. Or pastor, talk to whoever you have around you, parents, whoever it is around you, that can, of course, give you some, hopefully help you heal through this process. I guess I put it that way. Because this process, with him doing this, it may make you not want to have sex with him again. If it does, then so be it. Then go ahead and do what you need to do. But just keep in mind that you don't have to tolerate this kind of, I can't say abuse or sexual assault. Same thing. You don't have to deal with anybody that's not listening to your no's and not stopping when you say no. Respect yourself enough to end this relationship and find love somewhere else at some point once you heal from this situation. Like I said, that's why I felt weird, because you know it wasn't supposed to happen. And when you're telling somebody no and they keep doing it, that's a violation of your right, your bodily rights. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, you don't have to deal with this kind of situation at all, because 9 times out of 10 it will happen again if you don't stop and put your foot down this particular time. This is a boyfriend. I don't care if it was a husband. And some of y'all may have an issue with that. I can care less. I don't care if it was a husband. It comes to a point where if you're saying no, they're supposed to stop. Stop the act, regardless as to how close they are to orgasm or whichever the case may be. That's a violation of your body. Please get some help and please end this relationship. I know I'm telling you this, but you can do what you want to do as an adult. And I advise anybody out there that's going through a situation like this or been through a situation like this, hopefully you're not still with that person. Unless you all have had counseling and that person has changed what he or she was doing. And you can tell that that person has changed because they know your limits now. When you're saying stop, they do stop. If y'all had counseling and things are fine, then stick with it. Otherwise, there's more fish in the sea. And those who would who would follow your consent orders and, of course, respect your body and your wishes. You don't have to deal with this. Any young lady or young man, because it happens to young men as well, I'm pretty sure. May not be the same percentage as women, because it happens to women, I'm pretty sure, more often, but it does happen to men as well. Protect yourself and get out of this relationship. Unless, like I said, that you all are going to counseling, you notice that he's changing his ways. He's consenting not just in the bedroom, but outside the bedroom too. He's stopping whenever anything feels uncomfortable to you at this point. And in other situations, not just the bedroom. So please get some help. And like I said, you don't have to deal with this. If anybody else has any comments or advice for this young lady or anybody that's dealing with this situation, put it down in the comments, y'all. Let me see if I can find a let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find another one, y'all, because I'm gonna do a few of them. So I'm just looking for a video. Oh, this is an update. Okay. Well, I don't want to do an update, y'all. We'll go back. Okay, here's one. Because I know a lot of couples deal with communication issues within relationships. We went to counseling too. And we've had many other things, of course, work on, to, of course, get our communication in order in the past and currently. So like I said, definitely there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have to seek help. Just make sure that you seek help, especially if the communication is ripping y'all apart or the communication is resentment is setting in. I guess I put it that way. And I am going to put in the description of this video an ebook called Connecting Conversations, and it's going to help you all connect your conversations. Connect your conversations inside the bedroom and outside the bedroom. It's going to give you some practical skills and tools and tips and strategies that you can use, like I said, to enhance that communication, and not just enhance the communication, but better that communication. Help you open up, help you be more vulnerable, all those types of things as well, and work through hard situations. So pick that ebook up today. It's going to be in the description of this video. So let me go ahead and get into this. I feel like I somehow lose in every important argument with my partner of 1 year because of his debate negotiation skills, and is leading to resentment. What can I do? Every time I bring up an issue in our relationship, I leave the conversation feeling like my partner says all the exact right things for me to get over it, as well as make me very sympathetic to his side of things. He's a lawyer, and I essentially feel like I get lawyered, sorry for the phrasing, instead of us really working through an issue. Even if he does not get angry, listens to me, tells me he cares, and really seems to take the issue very seriously. In the moment, I feel like what he says makes sense, and maybe I overestimated the issue, and then I just want to get the discussion over with. However, afterwards, I know he did not actually take accountability, and I feel some resentment for him. I don't think he's some deliberate master manipulator. I just think it's how he handles it when he feels his behavior is being attacked. both because of his upbringing and because he's very good at arguing. But it still makes me feel like I'm not being heard. This happens all 3 times. I tried to bring up something we needed to discuss. Hygiene, condom use, and an inception-like way how I feel about this behavior, even when I have prepared notes for myself in advance. I want to add that I'm not insecure about this difference between us, as I know I have other skills. And in other situations, I admire his public speaking, socializing, and debate skills. I just don't want to get manipulated into being fine with things when I'm not fine with them. And I want him on my or our team. I really want to address this before my resentment builds. What can I do to fix this? There's a lot to break down in this particular situation. But the first thing I would say, I know she said that he's not manipulating her, but he definitely is. Anytime, which I know that people, of course, whenever you have anybody bringing constructive criticism to you, of course, a lot of people do get defensive. I've gotten defensive. There are some things that it sounds like he needs to work through. You were saying that it was the conversations you brought up was about his hygiene, condom use, and an inception, like his current behavior with always making the situation more light than what it is and trying to get you off the situation or the topic in the conversation and feel like he's always right. Like I said, there is a problem with this. If these things are bothering you, you're not being heard, either you need to pick up my ebook or take y'all butt to counseling if he's willing to go to counseling or therapy for this situation. Because by you not being heard, the resentment is going to lead to a breakup at some point. Further, more resentment, you're going to get more and more resentful, bitter, angry. You're going to be unhappy on the inside, and the relationship is going to start falling apart. I've been there, done that twice, actually. Like I said, if you're not being heard, you have to do something about that. Get some assistance. If he's not willing to get the assistance, you're going to leave a relationship. That's a choice that you make. I don't see this changing at all unless he gets some help to whatever he's going through or went through in the past. And why he's feeling so defensive whenever you bring up the thing about hygiene or condoms or the way he acts. Nobody likes to be told anything. I understand that. Nobody likes to be criticized or feel like somebody's talking to you about your issues that you don't want to talk about, that you're trying to navigate around. But if these things are bothering you, it sounds like these are greatly important things to actually have the conversation about in a relationship. He has to, like I said, y'all have to get some help. Yeah, he needs to grow up too, get some healing or whatever the hell happened to him. I don't know. But if you're feeling like you cannot do anything about it, which I'm assuming that you can, I know that you can do something about this relationship and the communication breakdown. I know that. Being a social worker and a life coach, relationship coach, I see this a lot. You can do something about the communication as long as he's willing to, of course, work with you. And the therapist or coach or whatever you all hire. If you need me, let me know. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. You can hire me if you need one. If not, find another therapist or counselor that can help y'all. But he has to be willing to also get the help, not just you. If it's just one-sided, that's not going to work in anybody's counseling or coaching office. And their relationship is going to be headed towards a breakup at some point. Because at some point, you're going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of going through the same situation, not being heard. Everybody wants to be acknowledged and heard in a relationship. I don't care what kind of relationship you got. Nobody wants to be talked over, talked down to, talked out of the situation when you know that it's important to you. Especially hygiene, condom uses, I'm assuming, and his behavior. There is no way that he cannot, at some point, discuss these things that are important to you. But there is a way that he's not doing it right now at all. But like I said, you should not let him off the hook at all. Find out whether he's willing to go to counseling or coaching or something, so that y'all can start seriously working on you all's communication. Because this, like I said, I hear this all the time. It don't make no sense. I know that at some point, if he does not fix this, you're going to get sick and tired. You're going to be unhappy. You're going to be in a rut and want to leave this relationship or just walk out one day. He's going to be wondering what in the world happened. I didn't do nothing. Yes, you did. By refusing to talk and to have a conversation about things that are bothering your partner, that is an issue. I know there's many couples out there who are dealing with stuff like this. It's a sad shame that you have to go through these kind of things too, as I've been through it as well. And I did eventually leave the relationship. No changes were being made, no matter whether we got a coach, we got people involved to mediate all types of things. It wasn't changing at all. And he could occur less. Every single time was the same exact thing. I don't know if it's gaslighting, narcissism, whatever he's dealing with, whatever the case is, but he's definitely being manipulative. And of course, he's an attorney, but a lot of it, all attorneys aren't like this, but still, he is definitely being manipulative because it sounds like you're letting him off the hook and dropping the situation when it gets too much for you. I guess I put it that way. I'm not going to put all this on him. Some of this goes to you and your boundaries as well. You have to get stronger in your boundaries and make sure you sit there and wait until he's ready to talk about this conversation. If it takes you out waiting up all night, then sometimes that is what it takes. Don't let him off the, don't keep letting him off the hook. You have to get your backbone and start the process in this conversation as well. The backbone, what is it? Getting your strength or I guess building your strength in this situation. And like I said, just does not letting him off the hook. If anybody else has any advice, definitely put it down in the comments. In this particular situation or either one of the situations I've discussed, put it down in the comments. Because like I said, these kind of things happen in relationships a lot. Sometimes one person is more healed than the other. The other is being triggered. It sounds like he's been triggered by the conversations you're bringing up. And it must have been issues in the past where he's dealt with these similar kind of situations, I'm going to assume. Because that's what happens to most people when they get very defensive. It happened to me. I was very angry, defensive, all that kind of stuff back in the day. Like I said, at some point he has to grow up too and get the situations and get the resolve that he needs from whatever situations has happened in the past. Otherwise, his refusing to acknowledge your issues is going to drive this relationship apart. Let me see. Let me go to the next one, y'all. Like I said, I hope this person gets some help. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, I'm here to assist. If you need the ebook I have, it's down in the comments. Down in the description of the video. If you want to work with me as a certified life coach and a social worker and a relationship coach, that information will also be in the description of this video as well. And that goes for if you're going through a situation like this, I guess I put it that way, and need some assistance. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the next one. 10-year relationship ruined. What to do? I have been with my fiancé for 10 years and we have lived together for about 6. We live with 2 roommates who are both our friends. I came home from work a couple of nights ago and the roommates told me they had something serious to tell me. To preface this, my husband is a touring musician and he worked at a bar before going on tour. He is currently gone. My roommates told me that they heard several people who frequented the bar that they had seen my fiancé being touchy, flirty, and inappropriate with his female coworker. I obviously confronted him. He admitted to it. He shows some remorse and says sorry, but I honestly don't know what to believe anymore. Here's the extra kicker. He also told this coworker he was in love with her when he was drunk. He also admitted to that and said that he knows he didn't mean it and he's so sorry. He said he can't lose me and he remembers how nervous and excited he was when he first met me, when he proposed to me. I think I'm having a hard time because I really thought I knew this person. I consider him to be my best friend and my partner. As mentioned previously, we live together and the lease isn't up until July. My roommate has a girlfriend that says she could potentially take over my fiance's part of the lease, but it wouldn't be for 2 months. We also have a kitten that we have gotten before he left. That kitten is mine no matter what. I feel like because I have been the one taking care of him and he's attached to me. Anyway, I have barely eaten. I have barely slept. I felt like my life is a lie. Part of me definitely still loves him, but what the hell? How can somebody do this, especially after 10 years while being engaged? I'm mainly here to vent, but if anyone has any advice for me, I will take that as well. I feel like my whole life for the past 10 years is a lie. And trust me, this does happen in relationships. Sometimes you fall in love or the person falls out of love with you and finds somebody else, infidelity, cheating, whatever word you want to use. That's exactly what it sounds like is happening to her. Or emotional cheating. All the three or some of the or a combination of those three. I hate that this happened to you, I really do. But just know that these kind of things do happen in relationships. It's not all the time, even though it may seem like it, but it's not all the time. Yes, you can be with somebody for 10 years. A lot of folks change within that time. I don't know what your partner may have needed and that kind of thing. I have no idea what else was going on. But it sounds like the relationship had been hopefully okay between you two. But a traveling musician, sometimes that's hard. He's on the road. He's seeing different people. I don't know if he's having sex in the rooms. I mean, I don't know any of that part. You may not know either. But if he's already coming on to somebody else at the bar and saying he love her and this kind of thing, like I said, definitely the relationship sounds like it's over. At this point, you said he's already left, but the relationship does sound like it's over. Unfortunately, it's not. Yes, I know it may feel like it because I've been in relationships where I've been cheated on and I had to leave and that kind of thing. Trust me, I know it feels like a lie, but just know that there were some lessons within everything that went on in these 10 years that you can apply to your next relationship moving forward, whenever that time may come. You know the red flags to look out for. Look at your relationship that you were just in. I'm sure there were some kind of red flags along the way, possibly, that you can, of course, like I said, look at those red flags and turn them into some boundaries and some things that you won't deal with in your next relationship. Unfortunately, people do cheat and things do happen. Don't beat yourself up about it. Does not sound like it's on you unless there was something else going on that you're not talking about. I have no idea. But just know, don't beat up on yourself about it. Learn the lessons that took place in this 10-year relationship. So you can apply the things that you will not do, aka your boundaries moving forward. Relationships always teach us something. Regardless as to whether you believe it or not, relationships always teach us something. At least one thing, I'm sure, out this whole relationship you've learned. And then I'm sure that's to tighten your boundaries in whatever areas that you see needs to be tightened. I'm pretty sure. Like I said, there's nothing that you can do about somebody that doesn't want to be in the relationship and that's looking for love or relationships other places. You can't force somebody to stay there at all. Unfortunately, we can't do that. Everybody has their own free will. Yes, while it's sad and while I'm sure you're crying and trying to get over this relationship, like I said, there's nothing that you can do but just try to get your own closure. You probably won't get it from him, but try to release as much of this as you can over time. And don't allow this situation to, in the things that happen, to affect your next relationship where you don't even trust that person. I want you to go into your next relationship with open eyes and a blank sheet. Not the past hurts that's happened, giving the next person hell. Don't do that. Heal first. Get over this relationship first. It may take a little while. I have no idea how long you grieve and all those types of things, but give yourself some time to go through this situation and to get things in order and to get your inner peace back and your happiness back. And your self-worth, your self-esteem, all that kind of stuff back. All those things I know dwindle when you're going through situations like this. I've been there. So like I said, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. And anybody that's going through a situation like this, take care of yourself. While it's hard to deal with, yes, I know, these kind of things do happen. But trust me, you can move forward from her. Just know that. And let me know, put down in the comments if anybody else has any advice to give for this particular situation. Because it can help, of course, anybody else that comes to and read these comments. It's not just for me, it's for you and anybody else that comes along. So make sure that you put that down there. Trying to see if I can find another one, y'all. It'll be my last one for this particular video. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Click that button down below. and click that notification bell to receive all the videos that upload from this point here on out. If you ain't seen those in the past, like I said again, go check them out too. I'm looking for a last one, y'all. This is a different one. It's my prenups. My fiance wants me to sign a prenup after his mom raised concerns. How can we navigate this without damaging our relationship? I have been with my fiance for 3 years, and we've had a strong relationship until now. He proposed 6 months ago, and I was so excited to start planning our life together. Last week, he brought up the idea of signing a prenup, which caught me completely off guard because we've never talked about it before. At first, I tried to keep an open mind. He recently inherited some money from his father, so I thought maybe he was just being cautious. But I later overheard this conversation he had with his mom, where she implied I might not have the right intentions. He admitted she's the one who suggested the prenup to protect him. And while he says it's not personal, it feels deeply personal to me. For context, I've always supported myself financially. In fact, I helped cover some of our shared expenses when his business plans hit a rough patch. I don't want his money. I just want a life together built on trust. I feel torn because I love him and understand the practical side of a prenup, but the way this came about feels disrespectful. How can I address this with him in a way that strengthens our relationship instead of creating more distance? I want to make sure that this doesn't set a bad tone for our marriage. This is a very interesting conversation, actually, because I know a lot of folks have an issue with prenups. Whether you have money or not, a lot of folks have issues with prenups. Folks feel that, of course, a prenup will, once it comes into the conversation, is going to push the people apart. And that's exactly what she's talking about in this particular situation, too. How how was thrown up on her and this type of thing, which I understand. It sounds like he did come to you about the prenup, and you all did talk about it, regardless as to whether whoever suggested that he gets one. But it sounds like you all did talk about it. You're feeling away about the prenup because you don't think it's fair that he's wanting you to sign one, because he's gotten his father's inheritance and his mother thinks that you're out to get something else and all this kind of stuff. Trust me, I greatly understand that. I have been divorced. I understand that. We did not have a prenup. Neither one of us had anything at that time. Left the relationship with nothing anyway. So like I said, definitely I understand that. But you got to understand when it comes to different, because I know they have all these stats about how people, all these divorce stats and all that kind of stuff. Just know that I've dealt with a lot of different people as a social worker with custody, all types of things. I know personally, myself, others who've had, of course, divorces and all those types of things. Even though luckily mine did not have any aftermath, a lot of people do. A lot of people are forced to pay alimony. A lot of people are forced to pay, I guess, child support too. A lot of folks are forced to cover the bills of the partner who don't have the job or who don't have enough income to live on their own. I guess I put it that way. That's where the alimony comes in at. A lot of folks' property get taken. Property that they've bought, all types of things happen. That their name is on and your name ain't on. Especially a lot of men and women, a lot of folks lose stuff in marriages. That does not seem fair. Businesses, all types of things. I agree with signing a prenup. If he's on the route to becoming something great or got the inheritance or whatever it is, I don't see anything wrong with the prenup, but that's something that you're going to have to deal with internally until you get peace about it. If you cannot get peace about it, then just leave. Love him or not. If you can't agree with the prenup, if you can't deal with it, you don't want to agree to it, or yes, I know you love him and that kind of thing, but this is something that you have to deal with your inner peace about this situation. I'm not saying that you're a gold digger. You said that you took care of yourself, pay the bills at your house, that kind of thing, which is dandy and fine. But if he's wanting to protect himself, I understand his mother talked to him about the situation and think you have other motives or whatever else. You can't, that's a bond that's I'm pretty sure mother and son won't be broken. And he's willing to go ahead and get the prenup and came to you and talked to you about it. You have to deal with this situation. You can talk to him more about it if you want. Definitely feel free to do so until you feel at peace with this situation. And even if his mother wouldn't have told him to get the prenup, how would you would have felt? He would have just brought it up on anyway. Would you have felt the same way? I don't think, in my mind, I'm assuming that because his mother brought the situation up to him, it doesn't matter who brought the situation up. Even if he brought it up himself and nobody else did, how would you feel in that situation? The prenup conversation, period. No matter how it came up, how would you feel if nobody came to him about it? He thought about it himself. Would it change the way that you feel? If not, this is something that you have to talk to him about and get your own peace in this situation. We can't help you. Yes, I can give you all this, these tips and this information or this advice, but you have to come to terms with this. And it sounds like, regardless as to whether who brought the prenup up, that you still are unsettled about the prenup for whatever reason. That's something that you have to deal with. And that's all I can say about that situation. Make sure that y'all put down in the comments if y'all have had a prenup, or if you wanted a prenup, or you tried to talk to your partner about a prenup and they said no or they said yes. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you have any advice for somebody that's struggling with accepting a prenup in their engagement and not wanting to sign the prenup. Yes, this does break up relationships. It definitely does. But you have to keep in mind that when people are on their way to stardom, or have inheritances or whatever it may be, lots of property or whatever the case is, they don't want to lose lose all their stuff in a divorce. And I'm not saying that all marriages end in divorce. There are some stats out there. Y'all can check those out. But I know how nasty divorces can get, especially when one spouse makes way more than the other one. It's a hell of a lot to go through. And this young man is protecting himself, it sounds like, and he don't want to go through it. I understand that. Nobody wants to lose their house and home and half of their bank account because they got married. This shit happens all the time. All the time. Well, not all the time, but in divorce, I'm sure it happens more than 50% of the time. I'm willing to bank 75% of the time. That one person is losing a lot, the other person is gaining all this property, cars, money, because they didn't work their way through their marriage. And they wanted to fight for all the money and all this kind of stuff that the partner had that they feel like they're losing out on, or that they just won't because they're being ignorant and wanted to take from him because that person, I guess they feel like that person has taken from them. You hear all kinds of situations when you're going through a divorce, and people will turn the hell on you in a moment when you're going through a divorce because they want your money or want something else out that marriage, or feel hurt or whatever it is. I agree with him protecting himself. I'm not saying anything bad about you at all. But you have to talk to your partner until you feel settled and peaceful inside about this prenup. Regardless of, I don't care who brought it to him. The idea is that he wants a prenup. You talk to him about that. Who cares about his mother at this point? He agreed to it, so what? He's going to do it anyway. If not, I'm pretty sure that's something that's going to be a deal breaker for him, it sounds like. And for you too. That's something that y'all have to work through. If you can't work through it, you can't find a coach or a counselor, somebody to work through it with you, then maybe you have to end the relationship. I don't know. That's a choice that you make. I wouldn't say end it over a prenup, especially if y'all are in love and you love them and y'all living together doing all these kind of things. Talk about the prenup until you get settled enough with it. And you're not holding any grudges. You're not feeling resentful or bitter about it. And you have to look within to figure out what is causing you to be unsettled in this situation about the prenup. What is bothering you so much about the prenup? I don't care who told him to get it. What is bothering you about the damn paperwork in the prenup? You have to figure that out. You have to journal about it if you want to. You can do that too. That's the work that you have to do on your own to figure out why is it bothering you so much. Regardless as to who told him to do it, why is it bothering you so much? And like I said, if anybody else has any comments, put it down in the comments. I mean, any advice, put it down in the comments. Because this young lady or young man, whoever's listening to this, is going through a situation like this, needs some advice on what to do. And it may help somebody else along the way. So with that, y'all, again, I thank you. I want to say this is Reddit Stories for today. Relationship advice. And that's the end of my take one. I love this little thing. I had to get one of these things, y'all. Because yes, this is Tony Studios. Coming to you with Reddit Stories. Relationship advice. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive all the videos to upload from here on out. Again, this is Reddit Stories. Take one. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see y'all in the next video.